I just don't think you would be a good candidate for probation because nobody's seen you since 2021.
Please, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. The court is calling 2020 CR 10239 State versus Ricardo Solless. Can I have parties announced?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
James Doji for the Solless.
And are you Ricardo Solless?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me put this in. All right, did you review the state's motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke community supervision and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke probation with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Ricardo Anthony Solless who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 10239 for the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation on February 9, 2021 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
This morning, we're here on state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Violation condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Ricardo Anthony Solless, did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of August and September 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
All right, to that, how do you plead? True or not true?
And what do you say?
Yes.
True.
Yes.
All right, so you seem a little bit unsure. So the state is saying that you didn't report for the months of August and September in 2021. Do you understand that?
Yeah, she was the one that usually sent me a text or a call to let me know like it was on Zoom.
No. So here's the thing.
It's true. Or
Yes. So sometimes when people plead true, they plead true and then they say, hey, judge, no, I didn't report, but I have an explanation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you've heard states reading a violation of condition number 5 that they're saying you violated.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. To that, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
All right. State.
For the original motion to enter adjudication of guilt, we will waive the remaining violations and we will now proceed on the supplemental motion, Your Honor.
All right.
Violation condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Ricardo Anthony Solless, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of October, November, and December 2021 in violation condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Violation condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Ricardo Anthony Solless, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December 2022 in violation condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Violation condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Ricardo Anthony Solless, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December 2023, and violation condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Violation condition number 5, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Ricardo Anthony Solless, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of January 2024 in violation condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? And state, do you waive the other violations?
I don't believe there are any others on the supplemental.
Well, you're correct. All right. Any objections to the state's waivers to the other violations?
No, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violations 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not, Your Honor. We're both going to go open to the court for our recommendations.
All right. State, what are you requesting?
State's requesting a revocation of the defendant's probation, adjudication of guilt, and 3 years TDC.
And defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, I have obviously I have a different recommendation. I don't know if you want me to give it to you now. I have one witness that I would like for you to hear.
Oh, come up.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ibanez, his name's Justin Ibanez, Judge.
Okay.
And as he's walking up here, I don't intend on calling all of them. But if you're here for Ricardo, can you stand up, please? I just wanted the court to know that he has his grandmother, mother, and siblings all here in court today.
All right. And what is your name, sir?
Justin Ibanez.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And if you can lower your hand. And you said Ibanez?
Ibanez, yes.
How do you spell the last name?
Ybanez.
All right.
And yeah, on top of the N too.
Okay. I don't know if the court reporter has that symbol she can put. All right. Defense, do you have questions, or did he just want to let the court know some information?
He does, Judge. I just wanted to ask him this one question. Just if you could tell Judge Boyd, how long have you actually known Ricardo?
Since elementary, if I could remember. Yeah, like 4th and 5th grade.
A long time.
Very long.
So
time.
you have
15 years.
Sorry, you have prepared a statement you would like to share with Judge Boyd about Ricardo?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. You can do that.
Good morning, Your Honor, and the people of the court. I'm here today for Ricardo Anthony Solless and to tell you the type of man he is. We both grew up together most of our lives, and I can say he is one of the most hardworking men I've known. He's very dedicated to his family, a great family man. Not only have we grown up together, but we've had similar tragedies. Both of our fathers have passed away just months apart. And as we are here today trying to follow in our father's footsteps, to try not miss a second of our children's lives by sending them away for so long will not be beneficial for him or his family, as it can have an effect on his kids for the fact that he was always there, never missing a day of their lives, with Zoe doing cheer, Naya taking her to school every day, and being an ultimate babysitter for baby Ricky. These past months have been very hard on the children, and I know that he can change his ways for the better, to be a better citizen and hardworking for his family and kids who he loves very much. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any objection to my asking a question?
No objection from the state.
All right. So this is what I want you to realize. And I keep an open mind when everybody's on probation, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes people have things that happen, and I understand. Where has he been since 2020-21? Because we're in 2020-25. And I want you to understand, he's on probation.
Mhm.
And the easiest thing to do is report. And I tell everybody, if there's an issue, you can always come to this court and discuss the issue with me. But according to what he's just played true to, nobody's seen him since 2021. And I understand when people are like, great, I'm living my life, I'm not picking up any new cases. But being on probation, there are conditions with that. There's no such probation where the probation is you're on probation and I'm just going to disappear, because otherwise, why do we have probation?
Yes.
So where has he been? Do you know?
He's been in the same place
Mhm.
since 2020, or he moved down the street to his dad's, and he's been working there.
But did you know he was on probation? Did he let you know that?
I did, but I thought it was dismissed because they stopped talking to him. They stopped reaching out.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming in and giving me some insight into him. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any other witnesses?
There are no other witnesses.
All right. You can come forward. All right. So, Mr. Solless,
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate the fact that your family is here. I appreciate the fact that you have witnesses who are coming in to support you, right? But the easiest thing to do when you're on probation is report. I mean, that's easy. And so the issues with you is any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
No, not at all. And I do have some comments for the court that I don't think appear in the summary at the appropriate time.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to give you my thought process. And then, of course, I will still keep an open mind, right? So the problem is nobody's seen you since 2021.
Mhm.
And then according to the court summary, you haven't completed anything. Is there anything that you've completed on probation other than just, I didn't pick up any new offenses?
Just the family violence, class.
All right, they're saying here that you have not completed the
I
BIP,
did it.
the parenting classes, or outpatient treatment.
Okay. Can I just tell you my side of the story real quick?
Do you have any objections to? All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ricardo Solless.
All right, so why didn't you report?
All right, so we're 8 months into it and everything going good. And then I had my mom in the hospital from COVID. This is all during COVID. My mom in the hospital. I just had a newborn son, and then my dad passed away. I'm not trying to come with no excuse or anything, but I just hoping for like understanding that I wasn't trying to like not report or anything like that. I was going through so much, Your Honor.
Well, so here's the thing.
Mhm.
You haven't reported since 2021. We're in 2025. So I do understand when people have family members to pass away, when people have family members very ill. I understand when COVID was going on, but you didn't even pick up the phone in 2022. All right. And now, COVID. Okay. 2023, 2024. All you have to do was pick up the phone and call probation. I understand when people have issues that are going on in their life, but they haven't seen you since 2021. And according to this court summary, you didn't do the BIP course. This is an assault family violence case, so you need to do that.
Okay.
According to this, you didn't do the parenting classes and you didn't do outpatient treatment. So have you done any of those?
I started like 2 or 3 classes when I think of the Zoom meetings.
Mhm.
Not too sure how far. I know I started right away. And then being in jail, ma'am, I'm sorry. It opened my eyes to like I should have caught it. I should have done other things other than not caught. And-
Yeah, everybody, let me just tell you, a lot of people have an eye-opening experience when they go to jail
Mhm.
or when they go to prison. They're like, now I see.
Yes.
But it's not as though you're a teenager, you're an adult, so it shouldn't take that.
Gotcha.
And everybody, you can't be on probation and not be on probation. And what I mean by that is you have certain conditions you have to follow.
Yes, ma'am.
And your condition can't be, well, I didn't pick up any charges. It's not like in municipal court where they give you deferred and they tell you just don't pick up any new cases and you'll be fine. Okay,
Can I
yes,
add on? a little
Sure.
bit? So I had the exact same dialogue with Mr. Solless. He did tell me about his situation, and I think early on he got off to a decent start. And then COVID did affect his entire family. He did lose his father to COVID when his mother was very, very ill. And as I understand, the probation department was there in the home. At one instance, the mother was very ill with COVID, and his father had already passed. The file documents all of this, and I asked Ricardo the same thing. Like, I understand 3, 6, even a year of your life being so affected by your loved ones, but at some point you're going to have to come back into the fold. And as so often happens, I think you fall into a hole that's up to your knees, and you just let it continue, and before you know it, it hits your chest. And then 2 years later, it's over your head. And I'm not going to say he just kind of gave up, but I think at that point, he just kind of understood that he messed up. And it was the wrong response. So there's no justification for it. There is no good answer. The only analogy that I can kind of give you that I think might, resonate with you is, I know that you're a college football fan, and, you have your team, and one day your team comes out and they're a good team, they're a great team, and they lose a game they shouldn't lose, and they play terrible, and they can't do anything right. But you don't give up on them. And the next week they come out and they beat the Aggies or somebody like that. And Ricardo's, the Aggies. Ricardo's kind of like that. He's a good guy. And talking to him, he is. I've seen pictures of his children. He's a very good father. He works and supports them. He didn't go anywhere. He just didn't call and get caught back up. But I told him, had you done that, we wouldn't even be in this boat, most likely. What I'm asking, and it's a big ask, is the court can put him on a regular probation. I do believe and know that he can do the things you ask him to do. And jail, yeah, it's an eye opener, but it's a bit of a cop out because you're right. In jail, hell, I'll do anything or say anything because I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to go to prison. Do I believe that he will do the things you want him to do? Absolutely. I do. I've talked to all these people behind me. He's got that. He's got great support. And I told them, you got to get on him if he's, you got to stay on him. We should never have gotten this far, but we did. And so the prison, of course, it'll be there waiting for him. And my ask is that you take him off deferred, put him on regular, and let him do all the things that he still needs to do and will do. I can't explain his actions. I know part of the beginning, but the rest of it, he just screwed up. There's no excuse. He screwed it up and he knows it. But he wants to make it right, and I believe he can. And so I'm hoping the court kind of sees that in him and allows him to do that.
All right. So I want you to know that I listened to everything that everyone said. I've internalized everything. However, I just don't think you would be a good candidate for probation because nobody's seen you since 2021.
Please, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. So I'm going to revoke, find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. I'll give you credit for any time served. Does anyone want to speak to time? State is requesting 3 years.
I mean, obviously, Judge, I'd ask the court to recommend the minimum term if possible. He does not have that much time in. He does have 4 dependent children. They're going to be suffering alongside him too. I don't recall his history prior to this, but I don't think I don't think there was anything else there. So the court could recommend a minimum term sentence, Judge. That's what
Your Honor, I'll do anything to put on probation. I'll finish it, Your Honor. If it's to add a year or two to my probation, I'll finish it, Your Honor. I will. I'll do whatever it takes to not be in there anymore. I'll finish it, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to, as previously stated, revoke, find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. The court will give you credit for any time served. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison and the court will retain jurisdiction. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, you have a right to appeal. It's a limited right to appeal as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you're on deferred adjudication. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence and a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. We can go off the record. So here's the thing. When you go to prison, you better show me something. Your attorney will explain that to you. Do you understand? All right. And what is this on the
I've
side?
had that since I was younger.
All right. Make sure you get a doctor to check that out. Okay. And your attorney will talk to you about everything that I've said and what it means. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
The courtroom carries that particular stillness that only descends when something irreversible is about to happen. The state of Texas has moved to revoke Ricardo Solless' deferred adjudication on a charge of assault family violence by choking. And what is about to unfold is not a complicated legal drama of competing narratives or contested facts. It is something quieter and more devastating than that. It is simply a man confirming, over and over again, in his own voice, that he walked away from the second chance a court gave him and kept walking for years without once looking back. The prosecutor does not need theatrics. The calendar does the work. August 2021. Did the defendant fail to report to his supervision officer as required by the terms of his deferred adjudication? The question is direct. The answer is just as direct. Ricardo Solless looks at the court and says true. September 2021 draws the same answer. October arrives in the record, then November, then December. Each month peeled back like a page to reveal the same absence underneath, and Solless meets each one with the same word. True, true, true. There is no hesitation in it, no attempt to qualify or soften. Just the word, falling into the record like a stone dropped into still water, sending ripples outward that have not yet reached their edges. The calendar turns to 2022 and nothing changes. The prosecutor moves through the year with the patience of someone who already knows the ending, and Solless confirms it month by month. By the time the entirety of 2022 has been acknowledged and admitted, the courtroom has taken on a strange atmospheric quality, a kind of collective holding of breath from everyone present who has done the math and understands what they are witnessing. This is not a man who slipped up occasionally or struggled intermittently with his obligations. This is a man who, at some point in the late summer of 2021, simply stopped. Stopped reporting. Stopped checking in. Stopped acknowledging, in any practical sense, that the court's authority over his life existed at all. 2023 unfolds the same way. Every month of it. True, an unbroken chain of admissions stretching across another full year. And then January of 2024 arrives at the end of the sequence, and Solless confirms that one too. When the accounting is finished, the full weight of it settles over the room. From August 2021 through January 2024, nearly 2.5 years, Ricardo Solless failed to meet the most elementary condition of his supervision. Not the most demanding condition. Not the one requiring the greatest sacrifice or discipline. The one that asked him, at regular intervals, simply to show up. To make contact. To signal, in the most minimal way possible, that the arrangement the court had extended to him in lieu of a conviction on a violent family offense still held some meaning in his life. The silence after the last true is a different kind of silence than the one at the beginning. James Doe, Solless defense attorney, steps into that silence and does what defense attorneys do, which is to find the human being inside the record and present him to the court in full dimension. He calls a character witness, someone who can speak to who Ricardo Solless is beyond the months of absences and the accumulated violations, someone who knows his capacity for loyalty and love and the genuine connections that anchor him. The witness testifies and Doe builds his argument carefully around that testimony, asking the court not for an erasure of what happened, but for a different response to it. Regular probation rather than full revocation. A structured path forward with real consequences for any future failure, but a path nonetheless. The argument rests on the foundation that Solless has people in his life who care about him and whom he cares about, and that this network of relationship represents something real and workable, something a supervision officer could engage with and build upon. Then Solless himself speaks, and his words have the rough, unguarded quality of a man who has given up on presentation and is simply telling the truth of his experience as plainly as he can manage. Your Honor, he says, I will do anything to be put on probation. It is not a polished statement. It is not the language of someone who has been coached into the right emotional register. It sounds like what it is, a man at the end of a long road asking for something he is not sure he deserves and knowing it. He explains the years of absence as best he can. His mother became seriously ill with COVID during a period when that illness carried a particular terror, when hospitals were overwhelmed and families were separated from the people they loved during the worst moments of their lives, and Solless was watching that unfold in his own family while trying to hold everything else together. A son was born to him during this same stretch of time, a newborn arriving with all the sleeplessness and financial strain and emotional upheaval that a new life brings even under the best circumstances, and these were not the best circumstances. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, his father died. The man who had perhaps been a fixed point of reference in his life, a source of stability or guidance or simply presence, was gone, and Solless was left to absorb that loss while everything else was already in motion around him. None of this is fabricated. The court has no reason to believe he is inventing the difficulty of those years, and anyone listening can recognize the kind of accumulated weight that can cause a person to simply stop functioning in certain areas of their life, to let obligations slide while survival demands everything available. He is not describing a man who chose contempt for the court. He is describing a man who was drowning and grabbed for whatever was nearest and let go of everything else. Judge Stephanie Boyd has heard all of it. She has considered the character witness and the attorney's argument and the defendant's own account of his circumstances. She understands that the years between 2021 and 2024 were genuinely hard ones for many people, that COVID reshaped countless lives in ways that courts are still reckoning with, that grief and new parenthood and family crisis are real forces that act on real people in ways that compliance records cannot fully capture. And she revokes his deferred adjudication anyway. Because the court's authority is not a suggestion that becomes optional under sufficiently difficult circumstances. Because the deferred adjudication Solless had been granted was itself an act of grace, extended on a charge involving violence against a family member, a charge serious enough that the law treats choking in a domestic context as a heightened offense precisely because of what it signals and what it risks. Because thousands of people on supervision navigate illness and loss and new children and financial hardship and still, somehow, make their check-ins, still manage to maintain the minimum threat of contact that the court requires. And because 2.5 years is not a rough patch. 2.5 years, confirmed true month by month in the defendant's own voice, is a choice, however it came to be made and however much pain surrounded the making of it. The ruling arrives without drama, which is somehow the most appropriate way for it to arrive, because the drama had already happened, one true at a time, long before anyone set foot in this courtroom today.